Okay. Did it work? I have no idea. Where? Oh, it does work. Cool. Okay. Did it work? Does the screencast work? That's the big question, right? Yep, looks like it works. Hey, man. I can't believe people are actually watching. What's up, guys? Hi. What crash? That's the attitude I like, man. What crash? Just wanted to see if I could get this working, this YouTube live thing working. I guess it works. Easier than I thought. Okay, cool. Maybe I'll start doing these sometimes. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Did you guys see this comp? I know it was going around Reddit. I think it made its way to Twitter today. This candy factory unit, hard loft conversion, just sold for 1.16 million. Sold April 9th. The previous sale on it is back in 2019, back at 1.39 million. So 5 years, not even price growth. I mean, they lost like $200,000 on this. Pretty crazy. Especially with hard lofts. With hard lofts, especially larger units, and Candy Factory is one of the better buildings too. This one was kind of surprising to see, to be honest. It's getting ugly. It's getting real ugly out here, really quickly. Yeah. I want to show you guys something. So if you go like condos.ca is House Sigma is fantastic, but for condos.ca went through the painstaking process, I'm sure years and years ago, of collecting exact square footage. So mining through all of the floor plans, pulling MPAC data when they couldn't find the floor plans. And so their data on per square foot values is really as good as it gets. And like if we take Church Street Corridor, for example, I like looking at this pocket because it's like, I wouldn't want to live there personally, but you get a lot of like students and stuff, obviously. And you get a ton of pre-construction, right? You look at the sort of the Church Street, like here's Church and Queen, right? And you can see all of the pre-construction coming along. So you have, this should be Tridels, I think. Yeah, Queen Church, 88 Queen coming up there. I think 88 Queen's actually like almost topped off, if not already topped off. Of course, you have the center court stuff, so 252, and where's 199 Church. There's just a lot like in this sort of general area, or at least there's a lot right now. And when you look at Church Corridor, for per square foot selling values, you see like, in 2019 it was $943 a foot. 2024, right? So 5 years later, we're at $970 a foot. So I mean, I'm sure inflation adjusted a loss, right? $943 to $970 today. Over those 5 years, it's pretty brutal, especially when you look at the stuff coming up, like for completion here. Like if we'll go to, what's a good example? I don't even know what a good example is. Maybe we'll do the second phase of 88 Queen, because I think these guys are like almost done. Just take some quick look here. Not north, looking for the other one. Yeah. Wow, that flew. Time flies, man. I swear to God, I remember like when we were selling this. Anyways, so you look at 88 Queen, right? Which is coming up on completion. And our friends over at Talk Condo here, the boys, have I don't know if you guys saw, but they launched basically this like Condo Pro account where they'll give you pricing history all the way back through launch. So every incremental price increase, and you can look at the data by beds too. So it'll show you the price increase on specific floor plans over time. But anyways, most people obviously buy right around launch, right? They're not buying like most people, 60-70% of the building gets sold right around launch time. But if we look at like where these guys launched, no, we need to go further back than that. Why is this out of order? Come on, guys. Where were we at in 2020? No, we need a hot list. July. We'll go with June, March. Yeah, Feb, I guess. Fuck, I forgot they did the price ranges. That drives me insane. I hate price ranges. Let's pull a different example since this isn't proving to be super easy. Let's say like, I know, we'll go 252 Church, right? That one sold pretty well. So you go 252 Church, you look what they launched at in the Church corridor, which we know is like $1,000 a foot today. But this is blending old and new buildings. So we'll look at like specific examples shortly. But 252 Church, you look at the price history on this, like, okay, they launched at $1,568 a foot on average. You know, the later batch, the later cells were at $1,700 a foot, plus of course like floor premiums and that sort of thing. But if we look at the price list, like what were people paying? You got 469 square feet starting $732, 532 square foot, one bedroom, no parking, starting on the 11th floor. You're at $800,000, right? Before you add any floor premiums. So that's assuming you got the 11th floor. So $800,000 for a one in den, but 532 square feet. And then if we go like a building in the neighborhood, so the 88 North, and you look at like price history here for one beds, like this is back, so this is May, one bed, one bath, no parking on the 25th floor. You're at 504 square feet for 580. And these people who locked in on launch would have been in the mid sevens, high sevens, around 800, depending on floor premiums. And this closing, obviously, like 252 is probably coming along pretty well. I would think. Like, credit to Center Court, they build really fast. Yeah, it's flying. Absolutely flying. So it'll probably deliver next year, right? And these guys are, we're at a $200,000 spread. So that's no good. In Brooklyn, we have a long way to go to get to NYC prices per square foot. Yeah, 100%. Livable actually. Livable does show Manhattan prices. So you can see price per square foot on a lot of these like new launches. But I mean, it takes like 7 years. That's what's different. Like, is these buildings complete in Manhattan and they still have 70% of their inventory or 60% of their inventory. It takes years and years and years to sell out there. Why are these pictures not loading? What's going on here? Anyways, you guys get the point. Point is, you have all this product completing in the next year or two. And you have people into it for $1,500 and resales at $1,100 or $1,200 on the one beds. Another example is like Yorkville. Like, everyone loves Yorkville. It's the center of the universe, of the Canadian universe. And you've got like 11 YV is a great example, right? 11 YV, probably like What are we looking at? It's flying, I'm sure. Last time I saw it, it was like, yeah, it's up there. It's like, it's moving. And you're at 11 YV launch prices, or at least the prices a lot of people purchased at. Man, every site is so slow. I don't know what's going on today. Price history. So people purchased in 19 in the fall there, around 1,700 a foot. It's like, what is, like right next door, what is one Yorkville trading for right now? Probably not great. Probably not great. And just a bunch of terminations, right? Because everyone's stubborn and nobody wants to. But yeah, so small units here, 7th floor, 12th floor, no parking. 475 square, you're at $1,350 a foot. You're at $1,475 a foot. So you're sub 1,500 a foot. And this is back, when was this? Oh, that was April, okay. No. Actually, this was in January. So the market was better in January. So it's only worse from here. You're at 655, 451 square, so again, 1,450. So maybe you're at 1,400, whatever. Call it 1,400, if that makes us feel better. And we're still, people are into this for 1,700 before pre-construction closing costs. Like, it's pretty ugly. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. What do we got? Anybody have questions? Oh, wow, there's actually a big chat. Sorry, guys. I was caught up in my own world here. Like, actual crash, or is this hyperbole? It's hyperbole. I'm a pretty dramatic guy, to be honest. I thought we'd be already seeing appraisal shortfalls on condos en masse, and we haven't really seen that, right? We're seeing like blanket appraisals come in to save everybody because banks would rather take payment risk of individuals than have a whole building appraisal shortfall. So like, that is sort of kicking the can, I guess. People are missing the boat on some nice, sweet opportunities. Yeah, I agree. Especially if you're talking about like resale. There's really no opportunity in pre-con right now. Everything's priced on the moon. Boulevard Q recently announced 5% deal off of all remaining inventory. Do you think they would do cash back or make an amendment for me if I push back hard enough? 100%. Yeah. Lock it down in the 10 days, and in the 10 days play hardball. Not GTA, Toronto. 2,500 a square by 2030. That'd be nice. Short term, there will be pain. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, with the population growth, it's hard to, with 125,000 people month over month, it's hard to imagine housing affordability being much better in 10 years, or any better. Is Park Road stalling construction? I don't know. I haven't checked in on Park Road in a while. They sold well. Like, they sold surprisingly well. Let's get a little... Oh man, I hope 100 DAV launches. I'd love to sell that. Anyways. Park Road, here we are. The Yorkville Flatiron. I remember back in the day, this was like 2015, I think. 2015? I was selling lingering inventory in this building here, 825 Church. Right where Church meets Young. And called Milan condos. Anyways, I was selling lingering inventory because the builder held back a bunch of stuff, even though the building was well complete. And I remember distinctly the amount of people who live in Yorkville coming to view a unit or two with me and being adamant that this is not Yorkville. Like this, the moment you cross Young, that's not Yorkville. You can call it Yorkville adjacent, whatever you want, it's not Yorkville. But anyways, for marketing purposes, it's Yorkville. you know, people call, what was it? Anyways, doesn't matter. Point is, in this business, people will call like Scarborough the North Beaches and stuff. But so you have Park Road here. What are they up to? I haven't seen any pictures recently, so conditional permit. They've got their hoarding up. I don't think so. Like, I don't know why they sold well. So actually, you know what? I do know why they'd be stalling. Everyone's kind of stalling. So the bids keep coming down for trades. That's why Lamb held off so long on breaking ground for the Television City relaunch and sellout in Hamilton, was because every month he waited, the bids came down. So essentially they improve their profit margin by waiting as trades get a little bit cheaper and the cost of construction comes down. Yeah. We're all stalling, man. Nobody wants to buy, no one wants to call bottom, buy a resale, bleed negative cash flow, and be wrong. Nobody wants to bail people out of assignments unless they're getting, a good enough hosing on the seller, which is happening. I mean, we sold like 3 assignments last week, or purchased rather. I think we were list on 1 and buy side on 2. So people are buying assignments if you can give them a good enough deal, for sure. Do you think builders will deliberately slow finishing construction to reduce the risk of buyers not qualifying for mortgages? No, not really. I mean, it depends. You're weighing multiple things, but you'll delay the start of construction, right? Like, you'll delay breaking ground. But once you have broken ground and everyone's on site, then you're carrying your construction debt, which is usually at a higher interest rate, and you're carrying that through completion, right? And so that's why, that's why they want to deliver occupancy so quickly, so they can start taking occupancy fees to cover that construction debt until they can close and register the building, and have you and like walk away. Like, most developers want to get in and out, right? They're that's why they're not purpose-built rental developers. Return isn't just measured in gross return; it's also measured against time. So carrying that construction debt for too long is usually not advantageous. Cool thing with Condo, guys, is you got this, they launched this like new insights chart. So you can see completions, scheduled completions by neighborhood over time. So if we scroll down to insights somewhere here, you can see like this. So this is for Yorkville supply projection. So you can see when things are supposed to, like, scheduled to complete, like the 1 condos, 2024, right? That's not going to happen. No way, Jose. That's not going to happen. But anyways, you have like 11 YV, right? So it's scheduled for 2025. Looks like relatively on track for that. And again, it's $1,700 a foot, Adagio. Pemberton at 33, Yorkville, and then Park Road scheduled for 27. If we go like, I wonder what they'll label this neighborhood as, actually. $252. Where do you have this as? You're gonna name it downtown core. Okay. So 2024, you have Saint. Wow, that was really. Garden District, 252, Artist Alley, 88 Queen, 199 Church. Queen Central, yeah. When's Centricities schedule close? Because you also have the Saint looking good. Man, urban Toronto is the best. Like people just submitting photos of construction updates all the time. It's so helpful. Like it's got to be the best. I don't know if there's any other city in the world where there's like a forum so active on people tracking current development. It's actually kind of remarkable that we have something of this like caliber, where there's this many people interested in talking about, hey, like, you know, this submission looks like this, and then they update it to this. Like, it's very easy to, as a consumer, like buying condos, like I don't know if there's anywhere else you would know this much information. I know in Montreal, you can't even like, we wanted to do something like this for Montreal, but it's not even possible. You can't get the city tiles, you can't get the data on the development, you can't get the architectural plans in even a PDF format. So like it can't be done. But it was, I mean, it wasn't easy, but like all of the data we needed to compile in order to do this was possible in Toronto, where I don't even know if other cities offer that kind of transparency. Sky Tower, the commercial, I'm sure that commercial is going to get delayed now. Question, what are the chances the banks are going to appraise at retail and have the developers hold the bag? I thought the chance was higher, but so far blanket appraisals are saving everybody. Yeah. In the next year, what % of buyers can you see walking away from their deposits if they can pick up a similar unit on the resale market for 20-30% less? I think it depends. It's very site specific, because like some developers, let's say you have 15 down or 20% down. Some developers, if you fail to close, they'll just let you walk, right? But there are, and I can pull up the Ontario, what's it called? The public, whatever it's called, where you can look up the suits. There's already developers, condo developers in Toronto suing people who are failing to close on their pre-construction. I saw 12 in one building, and they were suing for damages in the amount of original purchase price, which I'm sure they won't get. That's just the starting point. But yeah, you have to be careful with stuff like that. You can't just walk, right? You have an obligation to close. Obviously, that's not how life actually works. People can't close, they can't close. But yeah, some developers will just keep your deposit, resell the unit, especially if there's equity in it. Thoughts on what? Thoughts, James. Thought they would compensate something because of their reputation. James. Sorry, man. I'm trying to find your original comment. Oh, I see. You're already locked into the deal, and then they rolled out the new incentive and rug pulled you. Yeah. Good luck. That's tough. I would chase it. I would try, but that's a tough one. Yeah, they cleaned up you'd pay HST on profit and capital gains on your assignment. They cleaned up, it was really messy before, because if you could make a case, it was a primary residence, so on and so forth, and then they were trying to apply HST on the entire deposit if you were a flipper, and it was just really messy. So they've cleaned that up. What else do we have coming up? I guess there's some stuff in the entertainment district. You have 400 King, right? That's closing. Natasha should be in what, 2-3 years? Forma, that's a fun one. Beautiful builds, but $1,900, $2,000 a foot. But those are going to be so far out that I don't even think they're really on my radar. Like, who cares? Who knows what it's going to look like when Forma, like what the world's going to look like when Forma closes. those are going to take forever. So I don't think those people are too stressed, to be honest. They're probably just sitting back and waiting to see what happens. Sucks for the one buyers. That really sucks. Yeah, so you have 11 YV, right, at 1,700 a foot. One Yorkville is at what? Yeah, 14. Okay. So that's going to be no fun. $45 for rent at 55 Mercer. Yeah, rents in the entertainment district are hurting pretty bad because of, there's been a lot of completion. You can see it in the delivery chart. Nobu, Mercer, Peter and Adelaide, Central, Maverick. Yeah, these are just a lot of completions. Like more than the entertainment district has ever seen. So you're talking about almost 4,000 unit deliveries. And so there's just so much inventory for rent. Which sucks because so let's say in 03, right? These guys are trying to rent an 03 for $1,950 a month. So 370 square. That's small. That is small. So 370 square. Oh, I'm already on the page. And if we go to an old hot list here, $370, so $575 on the 10th floor. $575 plus you got a bunch of closing costs, but whatever. Let's say yeah. So you're $2,700, then you add your maintenance fees, your property tax, and you're gonna get $1,950 a month in rent. So you're cash flow negative, well over $1,000 a month on a studio. It's tough. It's rough. It's rough out there. Everyone's like, it's a choice between losing money slow or fast, but also like nobody wants to sell. Nobody wants to be the guy that sells before things improve, right? Hopefully things improve. I just closed on a resale in the entertainment district. Was a really bad time. Yeah, it's just a lot of inventory. But how much can be saved through interest rate cuts? I don't know, but like I was surprised by the resurgence and the interest in pre-con and in resale and in assignments last year with the pause. I think the market here is remarkably forward-looking. When I say the market, obviously I just mean people, investors, speculators, right? Like we're all very... Toronto, the GTA as a whole seems to be incredibly obsessed with real estate investing, so everyone always tries to front run. Everyone always tries to front run. So it's not about a quarter point actually improving affordability. I think it's just about sentiment. And sentiment in this city seems to turn really quickly and violently. Yeah. Do you recommend a condo with parking or without parking and then renting through the building? It depends on, I don't know. It depends. Your location, if it's an investment, if it's for yourself, sounds like it's for yourself. If it's for yourself and you need the parking, I would get the parking, because parking is pretty limited in new builds. So I know in my building's not even that new, 7 years old now. So I own the one parking space and I needed a second, and this is in yeah, anyways, my second parking space I pay $325 a month for, and pre-construction it would have been $45,000. It's also a pain in the ass because I've had to change who I rent a parking spot from 3 times in the last 4 years. So it's just annoying. So if you need the parking spot, like from a quality of life standpoint, just buy the parking spot. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with Eric. There's a lot of people looking to deploy capital. The sharks are 100% circling. I get calls all the time from funds who are trying to figure out how to create or source the supply for distressed assignments so they can deploy, 50 mil, 100 mil, whatever, into distressed assignments, and just well-capitalized individuals are also just looking for deals, right? That I would say in general they're not biting yet, but they're definitely circling and they're watching and they're paying attention, and that's why I think it really just comes down to sentiment to some degree, because you get a couple cuts and people start, running into the market again and right back where we started. But as far as pre-construction is not coming back. Like resale maybe, assignments maybe, but pre-construction in the 416 is dead for like a long time, I think. You can't justify, like the cost to build is just too high, and condo prices haven't budged in, if we go King West, market stats, you're at 1029 a foot today on average, which is identical to the prices in 2020, and inflation adjusted, like no growth since 2018. Like the price of a condo in King West is virtually unchanged for an entire building cycle, for an entire build cycle, right? You bought something in 2018, it's completing now or completed last year. Like it's a whole cycle, a whole building cycle of condos with no growth in resale, but the cost of construction has literally doubled. So it's impossible to make sense of these pre-con prices. Like it just, like how do I, as someone who markets pre-construction, like how do I make a good case to you as a potential client to like buy something like this for $2,200 a foot? How do I, like, what could I possibly say, that would make you think, hey, maybe he's got a point. You'd be like, this guy's crazy. I'll just go buy resale for $1,100 a foot or whatever, right? So pre-construction in the 416 is not coming back in the near future. You'll have your weird like edge cases, like, we all know, well, maybe we don't all know, but these guys sold well. Q Tower sold really, really well. Lifetime did well on this. Probably 60-70% sold. Which back in the day, it would have sold out in a weekend, but 60-70% is pretty impressive considering the prices. $1,650, $1,700 a foot. But it's all like trophy investment, or at least that's how these people view it, because of the location, right? Look at that. CN Tower's right there. Look at that. It's a trophy to them. It's one of those long-term, this will always be a good thing. This is an amazing location. It's 905 investors' idea of what Toronto is. It's like right here. This is Toronto. This is downtown Toronto right here, guys. In their minds, anyways. But the truth of it is, it's 59 stories. You have 946 units in the tower. It's pretty high density. Lifetime did a really good job of making this attractive by just you can see it in the floor plate. Just like they've made these units absolutely as small as possible to focus on getting end price as low. So, the average person doesn't actually pay that much attention or any attention to per square foot. They pay attention almost exclusively to end price. So if you can get those units as small as possible without being absolutely mangled layouts, then you're gonna do well, or you're gonna do better than someone who has larger units, but a better PSF. So like Lifetime clearly put a lot of work into this floor plate to try to shrink these floor plans, and it worked for them. It was the right choice in order to sell the building anyways. So you have your outliers like that, right, that are still sort of doing well, but it's because they're in specific locations that appeal to specific people. Shrinkflation, yeah. Every year the floor plans seem to get smaller. Every year. Cool. All right, guys. I wasn't actually going to stream today. I was literally just testing out YouTube because I've never gone live on YouTube before, and I didn't even know if OBS would let me. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'm glad this worked. Maybe we'll do more of them if people like it and want to engage back and forth and stuff. It's kind of fun. So thanks for coming. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. See you guys.